Live television always carries a sense of unpredictability. No matter how prepared the hosts are, no matter how carefully a show is planned, there are moments that simply can't be scripted. And recently, during an episode of Live with Kelly and Mark, viewers witnessed one of those rare, genuine moments. A moment that wasn't loud, wasn't dramatic, but still managed to leave a lasting impact. It involved Mark Consuelos and a thoughtful surprise from Kelly Ripa. What happened next wasn't just another segment, it became something viewers connected with on a deeper level. The show began like any other episode. The familiar energy, the comfortable rhythm, the natural chemistry between Kelly and Mark. For longtime viewers, this dynamic is part of what makes the show so engaging. Their conversations feel real, their reactions feel unscripted, and their connection feels authentic. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, at least not at the beginning. As the episode moved forward, something began to change. It wasn't immediately obvious. There was no sudden announcement, no dramatic pause, just a subtle shift in tone. Kelly introduced a segment that seemed simple on the surface, but there was something different about the way she presented it, something more personal, something more meaningful. Viewers began to sense that this moment might be more than just another part of the show. Then came the surprise. It wasn't over the top, it wasn't flashy. Instead, it was thoughtful, carefully chosen, and deeply personal. Kelly shared a message that clearly meant something special. Whether it was a tribute, a memory, or a heartfelt acknowledgement, it was clear that this wasn't just for the audience, it was for Mark. Mark's genuine reaction. At first, Mark smiled, a natural reaction, but as the moment continued, his expression began to change. His smile softened, his eyes reflected something deeper. It was a quiet, emotional response, not exaggerated, not performed, just real. And that's what made it powerful. In a world where so much of television is polished and planned, this moment stood out because it wasn't. Audiences today are incredibly perceptive. They can tell when something is genuine, and they can also tell when it isn't. This moment, it felt real. Social media reactions began almost instantly. Viewers weren't just talking about what happened, they were talking about how it felt. Many described it as unexpectedly touching, simple but meaningful, one of the most genuine moments on the show. And that's what made it resonate. The power of authenticity on live TV. Live television has a unique power. It allows audiences to witness moments as they happen, unfiltered, unedited, and sometimes unforgettable. This moment between Kelly and Mark reminded viewers why they keep watching, not for perfection, but for authenticity. As clips and discussions spread, the response kept growing. Fans appreciated the simplicity of the moment. There was no need for dramatic music, no need for over-the-top reactions, just two people sharing something real. And that was enough. What makes this moment different? There are many emotional moments on television, but not all of them stay with viewers. This one did. Why? Because it wasn't trying to be emotional. It just was. And sometimes, that's what connects the most. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos have a long history together. That connection is something viewers are already familiar with, but moments like this add another layer. They show respect, understanding, genuine appreciation, and those qualities are difficult to fake. Television often walks a fine line between entertainment and reality. This moment leaned toward reality, and that's why it stood out. Why moments like this matter. In today's fast-paced media world, content comes and goes quickly, but meaningful moments, they stay. They create connection, they build loyalty, and they remind audiences why certain shows continue to matter. This moment also served as a reminder to pay attention, not just to the big highlights, but to the small, quiet moments, because sometimes those are the ones that mean the most. Next time you watch live television, take a moment, not just to see what's happening on the surface, but to notice what's happening underneath. Because beyond the lights, the cameras, and the carefully planned segments, there's something more, something quieter, something real. Moments that don't come with a warning, moments that don't follow a script, moments that no one can fully prepare for. And yet, those are often the moments that stay with us the longest. When Mark Consuelos paused, even for just a second, it wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but it meant something. And when Kelly Ripa chose to create that moment, it wasn't about television, it wasn't about performance, it was about connection. Real, human connection. The kind that doesn't need explanation, the kind that doesn't need words. Because sometimes, words aren't enough. Sometimes it's in the silence where the meaning lives. In the way someone looks away for a second, in the way their voice softens, in the way the energy in the room quietly shifts. These are the details that are easy to miss, but they're also the ones that matter the most. In a world filled with fast content, constant updates, and endless scrolling, we're used to big moments. Big headlines, big reactions, big emotions. But this wasn't one of those moments. This was something different, something gentle, something subtle. And that's exactly why it stood out, because it reminded us of something we don't always see on screen. Authenticity. Not polished, not rehearsed, not perfected. Just real. And real moments have a way of reaching people. They don't need to be explained. They don't need to be exaggerated. They simply exist, and we feel them. That's what happened here. A moment that wasn't planned to go viral, a moment that wasn't designed to trend, still found its way into people's hearts because it reflected something familiar, something human. And maybe that's why viewers didn't just watch, they paused too. They noticed, they understood, and in their own way, they connected. So the next time you tune in, don't just follow the conversation, don't just wait for the highlight. Look a little deeper. Pay attention to the in-between moments, the quiet ones, the ones that pass quickly but leave a lasting impression. Because sometimes the most meaningful part of any story isn't the part that's spoken out loud, it's the part that's felt. And in those rare, unscripted seconds, when everything slows down just enough, you realize something important. Live television isn't just about what we see, it's about what we experience. And when a moment is real, truly real, it doesn't just stay on the screen, it stays with us, long after the show ends.